Hey there, travelers, Adam here. Did you know that Maine has over 65 active lighthouses? So today we're gonna find the actual 10 best lighthouses to visit in the state of Maine.
Whoops, I actually meant 13 lighthouses. Everyone's getting 3 bonus lighthouses today. All right, let's get back to the video. We're starting off at number 13 with the Seguin Island Light Station. Located near Phippsburg, Maine and on Seguin Island, the lighthouse is about a 50-mile drive and a 4-mile ferry ride from Portland. The Seguin Island Light Station is 53 feet tall and was originally built in 1795. However, the current structure dates to 1857. Due to the ferry not running in 2022, I was never actually able to go visit Seguin Island in person. This is as close as I was able to get to that lighthouse. Nevertheless, I felt the lighthouse did deserve some mention here on my list because A, it is the single highest lighthouse in Maine as it is built on such a large hill, and B, it still sports a massive first order Fresnel lens, and lastly C, a visit would include a full tour inside the lighthouse if you could get there. At number 12, we have the Owl's Head Light. Located near Owl's Head and Rockland, Maine, the lighthouse is about an 84-mile drive from Portland. The Owl's Head Light is 30 feet tall and was originally built in 1825. However, the current structure dates to 1852. Now, what this lighthouse lacks in height, it certainly makes up for in views. Look at that. Holy cow! You find the lighthouse after a short hike and then what I consider to be a thoroughly enjoyable stair climb, and then you are greeted with just some of the most stunning ocean and island views that you can find in all of Maine. And of course, this lighthouse would be an even better spot to come visit around sunset like I did. I think that's what really elevated the experience for me and easily earned this lighthouse its spot here at number 12. At number 11, we have the Bass Harbor Head Light. Located near Bass Harbor, Maine and Acadia National Park, the lighthouse is about an 179-mile drive from Portland. The Bass Harbor Head Light is 37 feet tall and was originally built in 1858, and the current structure is that original tower. This lighthouse is one of the many attractions on a visit to Acadia National Park. They even used a picture of this lighthouse to represent Acadia National Park on the America the Beautiful quarter for the state of Maine. So because of that, know that this lighthouse is very popular and can get quite busy. Now there are 2 areas to explore for this lighthouse. To the right of the parking lot down the sloping path, you can get right up close and personal next to the lighthouse. And then to the left of the parking lot, following a path through the trees and down a staircase, you can get that iconic view of the lighthouse from the rocky shore. This is the classic view of the lighthouse that everyone knows and loves and can become quite a busy spot at sunset. At number 10, we have the Marshall Point Light. Located near Port Clyde, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 90-mile drive from Portland. The Marshall Point Light is 30 feet tall and was originally built in 1832. However, the current structure dates to 1857. The claim to fame for this lighthouse is that it was one of the landmarks that Forrest Gump visited as he was running across America in the movie. I found it super fun to be able to walk out across the little bridge deck platform to the small lighthouse tower, a unique feature for the lighthouses we've seen so far on the list. While you're here, also don't forget to visit the small museum inside the former Keeper House. But it's that dramatic and scenic walkway that will captivate you the most on this visit. At number 9, we have the Spring Point Ledge Light. Located near South Portland, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 4-mile drive from Portland. The Spring Point Ledge Light is 54 feet tall and was originally built in 1897, and the current structure is that original structure. Wow, this lighthouse is so freaking tall. It's the tallest lighthouse I personally visited on the list thus far, and it really blew me away. It's hard to convey how truly small I felt standing right next to it. I also enjoyed how uniquely shaped the lighthouse was compared to the ones we've seen thus far. This lighthouse style has been referred to as a spark plug for obvious reasons. Now, usually spark plug lighthouses were typically built in open water, as this one was originally. But Spring Point Ledge is unique in that a rock breakwater was added much later to allow us to walk out to the lighthouse. I found the trek along the breakwater to be super fun, and I quite enjoyed hopping from rock to rock, making for a truly memorable journey. At number 8, we have the Pemaquid Point Light. Located near New Harbor, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 67-mile drive from Portland. The Pemaquid Point Light is 38 feet tall and was originally built in 1827. However, the current structure dates to 1835.
There might not be a more classic representation of a quintessential Maine lighthouse than this one. That iconic shape and coloring, along with the location right alongside a super scenic rocky coastline with amazing views of the ocean. This lighthouse was considered so iconic that it was chosen to represent the entire state of Maine on Maine's quarter in the 50-state quarter program. I haven't even mentioned the best part about this lighthouse yet. In addition to the usual small lighthouse museum, this lighthouse also offers full tours inside the tower. That's right, you get to climb all the way up to the lamp and look out from the top of the tower. It's a spectacular view and an absolutely awesome experience that you don't want to miss on your visit to Maine.
Not gonna lie, this is one of the coolest experiences ever.
Look at that, there's the bulb, the Fresnel lens. I am in the lighthouse.
At number 7, we have the Portland Breakwater Light, better known as the Bug Light. Located near South Portland, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 4-mile drive from Portland. The Bug Light is 24 feet tall and was originally built in 1855. However, the current structure dates to 1875.
Now, if this isn't the cutest little lighthouse near Portland, if not in all of Maine, then I don't know what is. What's super unique about this tiny lighthouse is that it is sporting quite a few Corinthian columns, giving it quite an unusual Greek architectural look. This makes its style stand out quite sharply from the other Maine lighthouses. Additionally, next to the lighthouse is a nice little park that is great to picnic at, and the lighthouse offers some of the best views across the water towards downtown Portland. This is another lighthouse that is great to check out at sunset for some of the best jaw-dropping views of Portland and the surrounding islands.
At number 6, we have the Wood Island Light. Located near Biddeford, Maine and on Wood Island, the lighthouse is about a 26-mile drive and a half-mile boat ride from Portland. The Wood Island Light is 47 feet tall and was originally built in 1808. However, the current structure dates to 1839. And we have the first island lighthouse that I was able to visit on the list. Shout out to the woodchucks and chicks and all of the friends of the Wood Island Lighthouse for helping make this visit happen for me. This lighthouse has it all. A scenic boat ride, a historically staged keeper's house, nicely strollable landscaped grounds, great ocean views, a fun fact-filled guided tour, and of course everyone's favorite, mine included, a fully climbable lighthouse tower. It's so cool to see the lamp up close and get that amazing view from the balcony. The only drawbacks to Wood Island is that A, there is a half-mile boardwalk walk to get to the lighthouse that may be challenging for some, though was a highlight for me, and B, there is extremely limited tour availability. You would need to book your tickets much farther in advance compared to other island lighthouses. At number 5, we have the Monhegan Island Light. Located near Monhegan, Maine and on Monhegan Island, the lighthouse is about an 89-mile drive and a 12-mile ferry ride from Portland. The Monhegan Island Light is 47 feet tall and was originally built in 1824. However, the current structure dates to around 1850.
I can barely describe how cool a visit to Monhegan Island is. I was totally blown away. First off, the lighthouse is a fun lighthouse museum attached to the old keeper's house, as well as a secondary art museum in the neighboring building. And then of course, an instant highlight is that this is another climbable lighthouse tower. The tour guide will take you up and show you the lighthouse lamp and the great view of the rest of the island from the top.
Monhegan Lighthouse, everyone. Look at that view. Lovely. There it is! Ah!
Now it's all the other cool, amazing things on the island that will make this a truly unforgettable day trip. On one end of the island is a cool and mysterious shipwreck. On another end, there are some truly dramatic cliffs with some stunning views of the ocean. Near these cliffs, there's a whole cool island loop trail system. And then in town, they have the Monhegan Brewing Company. But by far, the most unexpected and awesome thing about Monhegan Island is that it is an artist colony. You can literally see people with easels, brushes, and painting various artwork all over town. I thought this was so cool and had never seen anything like this before in my entire life.
At number 4, we have the Cape Nedick Light, better known as the Nubble Light. Located near York, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 49-mile drive from Portland. The Nubble Light is 41 feet tall and was originally built in 1879, and the current structure is that original tower.
Now this is an utterly classic lighthouse that I'm sure many of you have heard of or even already visited. That tiny island that the lighthouse calls home is so cute and makes this absolutely one of the most scenic lighthouses in all of Maine, especially if you get there around sunset time. Seeing that white lighthouse glow orange and then red was a sight to behold, and I'd highly recommend seeing it. Heck, even in full darkness this lighthouse is awesome since it is fully illuminated in a very cool and interesting way. However, do know that this lighthouse is extremely popular and could be very busy with other people, making parking a bit tricky. To avoid these issues, there are some tour companies that include the Nubble Light in some of their lighthouse cruises. In summary, it's the dramatic views of this lighthouse on the tiny island straight out of a postcard that earned it its spot here at number 4.
Wow. Oh, wow.
At number 3, we have the Boone Island Light. Located near York, Maine, and on Boone Island, the lighthouse is about a 29-mile drive and a 16-mile boat ride from Portland. The Boone Island Light is 133 feet tall and was originally built in 1811. However, the current structure dates to 1855.
Now that's a freaking tall lighthouse. Not only is it the tallest lighthouse in Maine, but also all of New England. I really admired seeing that huge tower rise up from that tiny spit of rock, and I thought that the more dome-like lamp top was rather unique. And do you see those metal wires snaking down the lighthouse sides? Those are to help direct and channel the electricity of possible lightning strikes. Because this lighthouse is so far offshore, there are actually a whole lot of seals that call the surrounding waters home. You are basically guaranteed to see a bunch of them up close and personal if you make a visit, helping earn the Boone Island Light its spot here at number 3.
At number 2, we have the West Quoddy Head Light. Located near Lubec, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 227-mile drive from Portland. The West Quoddy Head Light is 49 feet tall and was originally built in 1808. However, the current structure dates to 1857.
This is such a cool lighthouse, but man is it a trek to get to. First of all, this is the most uniquely colored lighthouse in Maine. I loved those red and white stripes. What do you guys think? Does it look more like a big candy cane or maybe a barber's pole? The other cool thing about a visit to this lighthouse is that it is actually the easternmost point of the entire United States. There is even a plaque and everything to commemorate it.
Well, shucks, I guess I can check that off the bucket list.
That island you see in the distance there in the ocean, that's actually part of Canada. Such a unique location and amazing coloring easily earned this lighthouse its spot here at number 2.
Now, before we make it all the way to number 1, let's check out some honorable mentions.
If you're in Maine near Rockland, the Rockland Breakwater Light could be a fun bonus lighthouse to add. I mostly enjoyed the fun rock hopping trek out to the lighthouse along the breakwater. Also in Rockland, they have the Maine Lighthouse Museum. It's the museum with the largest collection of lighthouse lenses and other lighthouse artifacts in the entire country. And then I'd also recommend visiting if you can during Maine Open Lighthouse Day. This is a fun day each year in early September where a bunch of tours are offered inside a large number of Maine lighthouses that are not typically open to the public. I was lucky enough to get to climb inside the Portland Headlight for the 2022 event, and it was one of the coolest experiences.
And that means that the best lighthouse to visit in Maine is the Portland Headlight. Located near Cape Elizabeth, Maine, the lighthouse is about a 5-mile drive from Portland. The Portland Headlight is 80 feet tall and was originally built in 1791. However, the current structure dates to 1885.
I can hear so many of you yelling at me through your screens. Wow, Adam, you picked the most obvious lighthouse to be your number 1. Yeah, I freaking did, because it really is that great. I mean, it's super tall and impressive. It has a little museum in the Keeper House. It's also simply the oldest lighthouse in Maine. How cool is it that George Washington himself directed its construction? Then it has those awesomely scenic, dramatic cliffs with those cliffside hiking trails. Heck, all of Fort Williams Park with its green spaces is a fun place to spend the day near the ocean. And of course, it's just all those views for days. There almost isn't a bad view of this lighthouse. It looks freaking great on those cliffs from the north Northern Trail or the Southern Trail. Heck, it even looks amazing from a Sunset Harbor cruise. My favorite vantage point is one where you can frame both the Portland headlight and the Ram Island ledge light together in the same shot. Did I also mention the Easy Lobster Roll food truck access? And if you're lucky to visit on Maine Open Lighthouse Day, you may even be one of the rare few who get to climb all the way to the top of the tower. I was ecstatic to get this opportunity, and it was truly the most memorable experience I got to have making this fun list for you all. All those cool factors and those obviously amazing views clearly earned the Portland headlight its spot here at number 1.
But hey, that's just my opinion. Now go get traveling.